And now we're going to talk about how to keep them engaged all the way up to how to teach all your learners. This piece right here is the one I said all the trainers, teach all learners, want to start with. And I mentioned last time there's a whole bunch of stuff you have to do before we get there. We just did that on day one. Now what we're going to do is spend an entire day on just this section right here. It's called the agree and see if you're right. And this is powerful on page 129 because in my opinion it's the #1 technique on the planet to engage people. How do you do it and how is it even going to accomplish this engaging all these people? Watch this. You can draw this with me. Draw a quadrant on the left side of page 120 in the margin somewhere. And what were the learning styles again? What was up here? Step. What's the opposite of step? Create. What's another one? Research. What's the opposite of research? Talk. Now watch this. I actually did, by the way, that's another great directional. Watch this. It's their brains over here. This becomes a 3-step method on pages 120, 121, and 122 that is crazy cool for your classroom. But what we're going to do now, which is on page 126, I love this picture. This is you, the trainer, and this is the trainees following along. Is we're going to teach you how to do what's called get them to follow the bouncy ball. Which, by the way, is where most trainers stop. Most trainers, when they do this, look up here, will just learn how to engage them and get follow along, but they don't really know how to make it easier to understand. We're going to talk about the fast trainees and the slow trainees and how to make sure that you get all of them to follow you. If you don't do what I'm about to show you, that loses all of its power. You go ahead and hook them all you want at the beginning. You don't keep them hooked? Think about fishing. How does that work when you go out and catch a fish, you hook the fish, and then you don't reel them in effectively? What happens? What's the fish do? They lose. They get loose. Here's what you want to do. So I'm going to show you in this chapter how to help them get it, even for the most challenging concepts. The Etch-a-Sketch is any place on page 138, you can read this with me at the top. It's a note-taking device feature of training materials for key ideas and important details presented during a lesson. Look what it says. I'm going to keep reading. Instead of having trainees take notes in the margins, you give them a structured box to take the note. You've had a lot of these. I want you to answer me a question I ask you. For the majority of the boxes in this companion, have I just told you what to write, or have you had to figure it out? Figure it out, and there it is. What about your class? Do you just tell them what to write in their boxes, or do they have to figure it out? This is the last lesson of Teach Effectively, and I'm really excited about this lesson because we get to talk about body language and tone. Remember, volume is loud volume, soft volume. Pace is really, really fast pace, really, really slow pace. And inflections up, inflections down. I can bring my volume up on both. Inflections up, inflections down. Same volume, but the one goes up, one goes down. Now watch this.